Good evening. If we could all please rise for the pledge to the flag. To the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Town of Marlborough Planning Board agenda, April 6th, regular meeting 7 o'clock. We're going to approve the minutes for March 16th, 2026. We're going to have an ongoing application review for Nostrano Farms. Applicant is seeking approval for events on existing agricultural property. We're going to talk about the Buttermilk Falls Spa expansion. They're requesting an extension. We have Pollock 39 Main Street also requesting an extension. And we have a new application review for 39 Old Country LLC. Applicant is seeking a two-lot subdivision with lot line. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I make that motion.
Thanks, Fred.
I make that
And
motion.
second. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Nostranos. Got anything from the board? Any training? Anything from the board? Any training? No? Okay. Nostranos. Okay.
Good evening.
Nostranos.
When we last appeared before the board, there was some question about whether or not we would require a public hearing for this application. Even though the building inspector's determination is that a special use permit is not required, a site plan does require a public hearing, and we have done the necessary publications and mailings for the public hearing to be held in 2 weeks. We also have received the building inspector's comment letters as well as Pat's, which I assume we will be reviewing this evening.
Yes. Okay. Pat? Okay. Pat?
Do you have a suggestion, Pat? Okay. Do you have a suggestion, Pat? Okay.
There we go. So I don't have a suggestion offhand, but we can work on that number. It would probably be based on the design of the original approved septic buildings that are on the site. The driveway maintenance agreement was submitted for the existing Gala Drive. I didn't see any restrictions. I was concerned there may be some strict restrictions on commercial use or other access. I didn't see any. I know Hannah may have some comments on that or not. Accessible parking spaces should be based on the anticipated. One is shown, but for the maximum use of 150, there would be additional spaces required based on the building code, the number of accessible spaces per parking space, or number of parking spaces. We heard from the fire department. They've identified no issues with the project. The applicant has identified they've been operating on the site periodically, much as it's the same as many of the agricultural uses, having events and such on the site, and no noise and traffic concerns were identified. I'm going to defer to the planning board if they're aware of any impacts emanating from the site, noise and traffic. I don't believe that code enforcement has had any complaints, and they didn't identify any in their gatekeeper letter. Looking for comments from the health department as to whether this will be considered a non-transient water system. I don't believe it is, but we did circulate lead agency to them, and we should be receiving comments from them shortly. And just our last comment, we did send out the lead agency. Unfortunately, it was a little late. I had in my notes that we were waiting for a long form, and I was reminded that we moved past that at the meeting later in the minutes. So I did send that out last week, so the time frame hasn't lapsed, but I will follow up. The only involved agency is the health department, and I will follow up with them prior to the public hearing to see if I can't get their waiver or not object to the board being lead agency.
Okay. Hannah? Okay.
I had prepared a short form, part 2 and part 3, for the board to review, but we'll wait. I mean, we can take a look at it tonight if the board would like to review the part 2 and part 3, and then just wait to adopt the findings at the next meeting. I think that would be fine, but I would remind you also that because this isn't a subdivision, it's okay to complete seeker after the public hearing has taken place, so there isn't as much a rush as otherwise there would be. So I think it would be okay to look at the part 2 and part 3. If the board would like to go through it, it's just the short form, and no moderate or large impacts were identified. And I would point out in Pat's letter as well that there were not potential traffic or noise concerns. I think that's of special importance, but otherwise we'll be ready to hold the public hearing at the next meeting, the 20th, and then proceed either with seeker, well, to conclude seeker with these documents and potential review of a negative declaration before approval and or I guess approval of the project.
Okay. Pat, do you want to go through part 2 with us? Okay. Pat, do you want to go through?
Sure, we will. The applicant submitted a short environmental assessment form for the project. The part 2 is the board's document based on a review of the information submitted to date and the environmental documents. Number 1, will proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? We have that as a no. It is consistent with the underlying zoning in the RAG1 zone. Will proposed action result in a change in use or intensity of land use? The primary use on this site, based on the building inspector's letter, is agriculture, and these uses are accessory uses to the agriculture, both the existing residential uses on each parcel and the proposed. There's an existing home occupation, the wine tasting, which has previous approval, and then the event use, which we're reviewing now. Will proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? We have that as a no, as this action will continue to foster the agricultural use as the primary use on both parcels. Will proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? That is a no. This is not located in an established critical environmental area. Number 5, will proposed action result in adverse change to existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or a walkway? We have suggested that that would be a small impact, and I think it's important that the board weigh in on that and concur with that prior to making any secret determination. Will proposed access cause an increase in use of energy, and it fails to incorporate reasonable available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? We have that as a no. Number 7, will proposed action impact existing public and private water supplies? And we have that as a no. And then it has public or private wastewater treatment facilities, which we just discussed. There is an existing subsurface sanitary sewer disposal system which serves the wine tasting use on the site, which will be utilized, and then the project considers utilizing temporary portable toilets for any larger events. Will proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? We have that as a no. Will proposed action result in adverse change to natural resources, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, or fauna? We've identified that as a no. Will proposed action result in an increase for potential erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? That is a no. There is no new construction proposed at the site, and existing facilities will be utilized, as well as an existing overflow parking area that's been delineated on the plans. Will proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? And we've identified that as a no as well. So those are for the board's consideration. I don't think we're in a position to make any determination on those yet, but if anyone has any questions or comments on those, we could address them now.
Does anybody have any questions? All right, so we'll hold off until we're declared lead agency. And then we'll answer part 3 at the next
Yes.
meeting.
We can adopt.
And we'll
review
adopt.
and adopt part 2, part 3, and
And
I'll
we'll
also
adopt.
prepare, if the board would like, a negative declaration draft for you to consider at the April 20th meeting as well.
Yes, for after the public hearing. Yes. Is everybody okay with that? Yes? Okay, so let's do that. Patty, anything else?
Yeah, I just wondered, at the last meeting, the planning board was considering sending the town board a recommendation for a streamlined agricultural site plan, and I know that also is discussed in the building inspector's letter. I just wondered if that had been done yet.
We have that, and we're going to do that under discussions after.
Okay,
I
thank
do
you.
have a letter prepared by our attorney that we'll read out loud and we'll accept, and we'll get the planning board's approval for me to sign that, and we'll send that to the town board.
Wonderful. I think I found this letter, the report, extremely helpful. I think that the considerations that were discussed in this will be helpful not only to the applicants, but also to the planning board moving forward, because they can be applicable to every agricultural project. So I think it was really helpful, and I appreciate the consideration that were taken to put this comprehensive report together. And I just want to state
Absolutely.
that for the record.
And I don't have a problem with us putting this in the minutes, okay? If we can do that. Okay? Tommy's letter, okay? Tommy's letter, okay? Right, but let's put it in the minutes. Right, but let's put it in the minutes. Okay?
All right.
Thanks,
See you on the
Patty.
20th.
All right, thanks, Patty.
See you on the 20th.
You're more than willing to hang around while we do the discussion later, if you'd like.
Yeah, I think I might do that.
All right, good.
Yeah, I think I might do that.
You only have one meeting tonight?
Only one tonight, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Pollock, Buttermilk Falls Spas expansion and Pollock 39 Main Street. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right.
How you doing
Hey,
tonight?
hope everyone's doing all right on the planning board and the audience. Planning board and okay. Where do you want me to begin? We'll start with 39 Main Street. How's that for a beginning? Okay, we had some financial difficulties. We still do, but I'm closing on two projects. Right, I'm selling a project in Kingston and another one in Manhattan. And at the same time, the bank gave me some money for the doing the Main Street, 39 Main Street project. But our budget is what it is. Unfortunately, after running the numbers a few times, it doesn't quite make the cost of the building is more than the income. So we're trying to go for the IDA. We did the application for IDA, and we're still going to do the project as we planned it. And hopefully we get, we'll be getting better rents. We'll see what happens going into the future. But the projected rents wasn't enough to cover the actual cost of the building as we were planning to do it. But hopefully now that we assumed some tax problems on that, and that's where we were. But I'm being funded by Ulster Savings Bank on this project, and also myself, which is due to my sale of two projects. In the meantime, that handles 39 Main Street. Any questions on 39 Main Street besides being ugly? I apologize for how, I guess you got a lot of queries about what's going on with 39 Main Street.
Yes, we've gotten many inquiries because we are going to have our 250th Memorial Day Parade go right through the hamlet of Milton, and it would be a necessity for you to make sure the fence is up and it's looking appropriately for the amount of people that are going to be in the town over Memorial Day.
We ended up buying a bunch of hardware for the fence now, but we'll try to get that together this week. All right, and I'm sorry about what's the town's. It does look pretty ugly. It looks better without the curtain on it. You can see through it at least, and we'll clean up the lot.
That'd be wonderful.
Okay. All right, so
Hold on,
hopefully,
one second. Anybody else have any comments for? Anybody else have any comments?
Okay. Hopefully, the end of April we'll be pouring a foundation there.
Okay.
And the spot is.
Let's handle one at a time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, so we're going to handle 35 Main Street. Hannah? We're going to handle 35 Main Street. Hannah? 39 Main Street, my apologies. 39 Main Street, my apologies.
All right, so my concern is, it looks like there are two different approvals on this that will need to be extended. One for the site plan, one for the special use permit. And the way that the building department has analyzed these in the past is that the timing goes from the date that the maps are signed. And so after corresponding with Jen, I have that there was a planning board approval in June of 2022, and then the final maps were signed July 11th of 2022. There are two different provisions in the code that speak to extensions, and they're not the same, unfortunately. So for site plans, construction needs to be started within 1 year and completed within 4 years, but then there are up to 3 additional one-year periods can be added. So if we're in 2022, 4 years would have been 2026, so the planning board could consider adding a 1-year extension to push us to 2027. That shouldn't be an issue. The concern would be for the special permit, which has a different section entirely, and it says construction needs to be started within 1 year and completed within 2 years, and only allows for 2 additional periods of 1 year. So the 2 years would put us at 2024, and the maximum 2 additional years would put us at, what did I say, May 11th of 2026 as the maximum period for extending the special permit. So I prepared a resolution to that effect, to extend the site plan for 1 year and the special use permit for 2 years, which would put the site plan at July 11th of 2027 with 2 additional years available for extension, and then the special use permit expiring July 11th of 26 with no additional extensions available.
Does everybody understand that? Does everybody understand that?
Can someone explain it to me? I get the idea that I have to complete in 2 years. We pulled a permit originally on this project. So I have given 2 years from the time I pulled the permit?
From the date that the final maps are signed, so the date that the conditions have been satisfied, I think it was July 11th of 2022 was the final site plan and special use permit approval.
I never like to correct my attorney, but it's June 11th, 2022.
Was it?
Is that what you have?
I had
Are you-
June 6th of 2022 as the planning
you-
board
Okay.
approval, and July 11th.
Okay. We have 2
As the
separate
sign.
dates. Okay, good. We have 2 separate. My bad. Okay, good. My bad. Okay, good.
So if do I understand you correctly, he could get an extension on the site plan approval, but technically, he would have to come back for a new special permit approval in July.
Yes, of this year.
Yeah.
Can I start construction? Can I pull a permit now?
Well, you have until July 11th to have completed construction.
That's going to be impossible.
But there is the ability to get a new special use permit.
You'll just have to come back before the planning board.
Yeah, you don't have to go through the whole site plan again. You just have to come back for the special use permit.
That's what I was doing today.
Your state environmental quality review would remain valid. You would do a consistency with that. The county planning is already done, so most of the procedural steps are done.
Will it still require a public hearing?
Special use permits require a public hearing.
So at least 2 meetings.
For the special use. For the
Why is it
special use.
anyway? Why is it special use?
You come in for a site plan, and we look at what you're going to build and how you're going to build it. That's a site plan. Special use is that you're allowed to do what you're allowed to do only if you get a special consideration from the planning board, and that is a special use permit. So it's, the one thing has to do with construction and building, the other thing has to do more with your impact on the community. So there are 2 different things that the planning board is looking at.
Okay, well, there are both uses allowed by site plan, and then there are special uses, which require a special use permit, which is defined in your code, and the procedure to review that for the planning board is in that code. So not all projects in all zones need a special use permit, some do. And yours obviously did, you had a site plan special use permit approval. But I don't think it's catastrophic to you. I think there's some procedural matters you would have to go through to renew your special use permit. As long as conditions remain the same in that neighborhood, there's no
Right.
substantial change in the facts that were, the original permit was granted on the facts that the original permit was granted.
So we're prepared to grant you the extension, which would give you the year, but the special use you'd have to come back to the planning board for.
All right, thank you.
Okay? So Planning Board of the Town of Marlborough, resolution granting extension application to 39 Main Street LLC for extension of site plan and special permit approval. On this day, John Lamella offered the following resolution, which was seconded by Joe LaFaro, who moved its adoption. Whereas on April 4th, 2022, the Town of Marlborough Planning Board granted the application of 39 Main Street, Milton for site plan, special use permit, and lot line adjustment approval, which applications included plans prepared by Mendenbach and Eggers and bearing the last revision date of February 24th, 2022, and whereas after conditional approval was granted but before final execution of documents, the applicant revised its site plan, submitted amended plans with the last revision date of May 18th, 2022, and requested amended site plan approval. Whereas the Planning Board at its meeting on June 6, 2022, granted conditional amended site plan, special use permit, and lot line revision approval. And whereas on July 11, 2022, the chairman signed the final site plan maps, which constituted final site plan and special permit approval. Whereas pursuant to Town of Marlborough Code 155-31K, site plan approval shall be void if construction is not started within 1 year, and completed within 4 years of the date of final site plan approval. However, the planning board may grant up to 3 additional periods of 1 year each. Whereas, therefore, Code 155-31K requires that construction be completed by July 11, 2026, but allows the planning board to extend that deadline for 3 additional years. And whereas pursuant to Code 155-32L, special permit approval shall be void if construction is not started within 1 year and completed within 2 years of the date of final site plan approval. But the planning board may renew approval for up to 2 additional periods of 1 year each. Whereas, therefore, Code 155-32L requires that construction be completed by July 11, 2024, but allows the planning board to extend that deadline for up to 2 additional years. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the planning board grants an extension of site plan approval for 1 year pursuant to Code 155-31K, and site plan approval will now expire July 11, 2027, unless additional extensions are requested and granted up to a maximum of 2 additional years with final expiration no later than July 11, 2029. Be it further resolved that the planning board grants an extension of special permit approval for the maximum additional period of 2 years with final expiration to occur on July 11, 2026. No additional extensions may be granted pursuant to the code. Be it resolved that all conditions of site plan and special permit approval of June 6, 2022 remain in full force and effect. Be it resolved that this extension described herein are conditioned upon the following: the applicant payment of all fees, costs incurred by the town of Marlborough in relation to this extension. The foregoing resolution was duly put to a vote with results as follow. Jen, poll the board, please. Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Absent. Absent. Okay, now we'll move into Buttermilk Falls Spa's extension.
Planning board, thank you.
You're welcome.
Planning board, okay.
You're welcome. Okay. Go ahead.
So, I'm looking for an extension on the spa right now. It's unfortunately, it's become a passion project. Costs a lot more than like everything else. But we're getting funding on that, hopefully in the next few weeks. And just, again, I don't know, is that a special permit also? So we have to go through that again.
Yeah, so you have a site plan, and you have a special permit approval.
Yeah, I had well, we had a site plan. Do you need one tonight?
Yeah, this is a little bit tighter time frame. This only gives you to May 10th of 2026 for the special use permit.
So can I get an extension on top of that one?
Well, you'll get the extension on the site plan for the additional year, but the special permit only allows us the 2 years and then two additional. So the second additional will only bring you to May 10th of 2026. So you're going to have to come back again for a special use. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. How did I do on that, Hannah? Did I explain that good? Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to offer on this? Oh. Okay. So Planning Board of Town of Marlborough, resolution granting extension of application of 220 North Road Realty LLC for extension of site plan and special permit approval. Cindy Lanzetta offered the following resolution, which was accepted by Bobby Tronsolito. I'm not going to read through the whole thing again, but I will. Whereas on August 19, 2019, the Town of Planning Board, the Planning Board granted amended site plan special permit approval to 220 North Road Realty LLC for an expansion of a building devoted to spa activities on parcel 13 as part of an integrated resort hotel use of tax parcel 13 and 12.2 with related improvements and modification to site development, which modifications were shown on plans entitled Site Plan of Buttermilk Falls Inn and Spa prepared by Megdenbach and Eggers and bearing the last revision date of July 16, 2019. Whereas thereafter the period of discretionary extensions of approval expired and the applicant applied for reapproval of the spa enlargement project, which applications included a new plan entitled Site Plan for Buttermilk Falls Inn and Spa prepared by Megdenbach and Eggers and bearing the last revision date of March 3rd, 2022. Whereas the Planning Board at its meeting on April 18, 2022, again approved the site plan and special permit application. Whereas on May 10, 2022, the applicant was granted final site plan and special use permit approval when the Planning Board chair signed the final site plan maps. Whereas pursuant to the Town of Marlborough Code 15531K, site plan approval shall be void if construction is not started within 1 year and completed within 4 years of the date of final site plan approval. However, the Planning Board may grant up to 3 additional periods for 1 year each. Whereas thereafter, Code 15531K requires that the construction be completed by May 10th, 2026, but allows the Planning Board to extend that deadline for 3 additional years. And whereas pursuant to Code 15532L, special permit approval shall be void if construction is not started within 1 year and completed within 2 years of the date of final site plan approval. But the Planning Board may renew approval for up to 2 additional periods of 1 year each. Whereas, therefore, Code 15532L requires that construction be completed by May 10th, 2024, but allows the planning board to extend that deadline for 2 additional years. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the planning board grants an extension of site plan approval of 1 year pursuant to Code 15531K, and site plan approval will now expire May 10th, 2027, unless additional extensions are requested and granted for a maximum of 2 additional years with final expiration no later than May 10th, 2029. And be it further resolved that the planning board grants an extension of special permit approval for the maximum additional period of 2 years with final expiration to occur on May 10th, 2026. No additional extensions may be granted pursuant to the code. Be it further resolved that all conditions of the site plan and special permit approved of May 18, 2022 remain in full force and effect. And be it resolved that the extension described herein are conditions upon the following: the applicant payment of all fees and costs incurred by the town of Marlborough in relation to this extension. The foregoing resolution was duly put to a vote, which resulted as follows. Jen? Will you poll the board? Yes.
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 Absent. Absent. Okay, Bob, you're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Bob, you're all set.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
New application review, 39 Old Country LLC.
Review 39 Old Country LLC.
Joe Rappa.
Good evening, how are you?
Good
you
evening.
please,
Thank you for having us here.
Just state your name to the stenographer, if you would, please.
Joseph Rappa, land surveyor.
And you, sir?
Shaul Vaknin, represent 39 LLC.
Okay, wonderful. Tell us about your project, please, sir. Okay, wonderful. Tell us about your project, please.
So I think everyone's familiar with this lot. There's 2 houses, 2 existing houses on this lot. And what we're trying to do ultimately is to put the houses on separate lots. The lot is not conforming in many aspects, and so we have 2 different things happening here. We're doing a minor subdivision and a lot line change. We're kind of proposing the lot line change as an option, really, because the only other option would be a variance for the second house, which I think we're under the impression we wouldn't get. So that's what we're trying to do. There's a couple other issues with the driveway on the lot 1. And then, just a bunch of nonconformities that, going through the comments, adding Bill and Diane, that's not going to be a problem.
We'll let Pat go through the comments.
Okay.
His concerns first, then if you have any answers, then that'd be wonderful after he. Pat, do you want to give your comments? Pat, do you want to give your comments?
Oh, he signed it.
Which he just mentioned he believes he can do. We do need, for that lot, we need information on that lot, existing and proposed sizes before and after the lot line change. So we'll need, I think the board would be in a position to waive the survey of the large portion of that lot, but we'll need information such as that. Which is my comment too. Zoning variances for side yard will be needed for lot 1. Front yard will also be needed for lot 1. Front yard setback is not measured until you have adequate lot width to meet the zoning setback. I don't believe lot 1 has adequate lot width anywhere. So a lot width variance will also be required for lot 1. Label the width of the driveway strip They will go in the driveway strip. There's a driveway encroachment for tax lot 1 on the adjoining parcel. That should be addressed during this process. Show water and sewer. I believe one of the lots is served by town water, the other is not. So that information will have to be addressed on the plans. The building height is blank in the bulk tables. We'll need that to show compliance. Lot 2 requires a lot width variance and also a front yard setback because it does not have lot width where you would measure the front yard setback. So I believe that the only action tonight would be for the board to refer to ZBA. Unless you want to talk about seeker first.
Okay. So my thought would be, we don't have it sounds like we don't have all of the application materials if we don't know yet whether these neighbors will sign on to the application. So that would be my first thought. And then the other thing would be, we know that when we have multiple applications that make up one action, and in this case it sounds like there might be 5 or 6 necessary area variances, the planning board should, if it does decide to say that it's lead agency, this is probably going to be an unlisted action together with the subdivision, lot line, and then all of those area variances. Go through the seeker process, come up with the seeker determination, and then refer to the ZBA, who can then rely on that seeker determination so you don't run into a segmentation issue. That would be my recommendation on that, but again, like I said, I don't know that we can proceed with typing it and circulating for lead agency when we don't know if all the applicants are actually signed on to the application.
And I agree with that. We need to get everything from Bill and Diane on this.
Okay.
Okay.
I was under the impression that they had, that had been
We have a
submitted.
contract to them.
I can't hear you, sir. If you'd speak into the mic. I can't hear
Okay,
you.
I'm sorry. We have a contract with Jeff, and this that we signed it before, about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if I have a copy here, but my son have it, but he couldn't make it. Something happened, and I had to come here. But we have the contract, we have the agreement, and he signed all the paper. We have all the copy what he signed, all the applications. They are in the file.
Jen, do you have that?
They are in the file.
Jen, do you have that?
Yeah, it's all attached to the file, everything. Yeah, it's all attached to the file.
No application with any of that.
I make 12 copy of each one and I give it to Jen.
Okay, hold on.
Copy of each one and I give it to Jen.
Right.
Okay, hold on.
This did come through to show that you were the owner of the company, but I think that that's
No.
different and separate from.
From the purchase, but I give Jen a copy, 12 copy of Jeff that signed Diana and the owner of the property next door, they signed it.
And authorize, I presume, who's the applicant in this instance?
The applicant for 39? It's my son, it's 39 LLC, my son Eli.
39 we have.
Yeah,
In which case,
It's the lot line parcel that we don't have.
right,
and the lot line is Jeff, that he signed it, his attorney notarized it, and the bank notarized it twice. And I give it to Jen, she have all the paperwork.
Just stand by 1 second. Just stand by 1 second.
So this is signed by a Jeff Palladino, is that what this says?
I guess he represent him, he's the one.
But this also says 39.
Yeah, that's what the paper I had to give him, that didn't have anything else. That's what I got for the application.
So who owns Bill and Diane LLC?
I guess Jeff, he went and he notarized it by his attorney, so he has the right to sign it.
did he make 39 LLC the agent of this application?
That's not, yeah, this is 39 LLC, it says.
18th and 20th, thank you. I know we got something on it. I know we got something on it.
So this still says he owns both lots. 53 and 3. So I didn't have this in my packet, but there seems to be some issues with this as well. I'm going to let Hannah take all these legal documents.
Okay. Let me look at that last one that we just saw.
But nowhere do I see Bill and Diane LLC, which is on the tax map, or on the site plan as owners of the adjoining parcel.
I guess he can submit it. I mean, he's very honorable guy here, so everybody know him. You know Jeff? On the lumber yard. So we already contract to buy this piece of the property. So he said, whatever you need. Have your survey guy. No problem, but the rest you can do it. The rest you understand. Okay. So I take care of this one.
I can't tell from this. Thank you so much. Who's this?
I'm thinking it says that so-and-so here, it's Jeff Aldean.
He notarized his own signature?
No. No. It's just printed there so you can see who it is. It's just printed there so you can see who it is. But above that, it says the other lot. No, that's for 39 Old Country LLC. At least that's what it says on the paperwork. Oh, I believe he's.
I'm sorry, I just can't hear. I don't know if this is supposed to be on.
I guess it's off the record.
And Bill and Diane LLC owns the lot.
Nope, they own the lot line change parcel only. So the adjoining parcel, according to this file, the map that was submitted, is owned by Bill and Diane LLC. That paperwork all says 39 Old County LLC.
Yeah, we're gonna have to I think the result is the same, which is that there are some changes that need to be made to the application before typing it and circulating for the agency. Because these will need to be included in the circulation.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And then we can go ahead and we can set this as an unlisted action for seeker. I'll take a motion for that. Have a motion for that. Joe and Fred second. And then we're going to hold off.
Unless you want to say that upon receipt of a complete application, then you authorize circulation for lead agency?
That would be fine. I'm okay with that. Was everybody okay with that with the completed application? Or should we wait? Cindy?
I just have a question regarding the driveway encroachment. Isn't that something that's got to be, would that negate even moving forward with this application unless they were given permission by the adjacent property owners to
Jen, could you bring the map up on the TVs, please?
Can we clarify what exactly we're talking about? We're talking about where the paved driveway hits Old County Road?
Well, there's a couple issues with
Okay,
driveways.
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, the Old County Road has an adjoining tax lot 52, that has a driveway crossing the subject parcel we're subdividing. You're talking about subdividing. And there's a reference to a driveway easement.
Correct.
So that exists?
Correct. As far as the records, land records state, yes. Records.
So that one's been addressed, but then the driveway going to the rear parcel lot 2 crosses tax lot 103.1-4-1, which is the Jamal Family Trust.
Well, I labeled it traveled way. It's not exactly a driveway. So when I first entered this site, everything was really overgrown. There was just kind of a small area that you could see in the past may have been used. So I think there's enough room there for if this all to go well and that second house to be fully developed, a driveway could be easily placed on the area that we've given it there.
I think that should be shown, that we've relocated, or I think that's proposed driveway.
I don't know as a surveyor I can do that. I don't know as a surveyor I can do that. I don't know as a surveyor I can do that. We could put a note saying that, like a condition that it has to be moved from,
You're going to need an engineer for this.
moved from,
Whoever you bring on board for that.
well, so, yeah, the client's hope is to kind of go through that process after we've ensured that this is going to work and not retain an engineer at this time.
No, I don't see that happening. We're going to have to prove the lots can stand alone prior to approving them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get Board of Health approval. Yeah, you're gonna have to get Board of Health.
Understood,
In
yeah.
order to get approval. And I have a problem with that encroachment issue being shown on the map and issue being shown on the map.
That, the driveway, the traveled way he's talking about?
Yeah.
What's the problem with it?
Yeah, well, you're,
The surveyor's stating there's an existing easement for that.
Yeah, if you read, there's a very, this is a whole crazy project to research. There is a right-of-way allegedly there. Now, I tried to research this thing back to the origination, I couldn't find it. I got to a point where, looking up the names through the grantee indexes, I just couldn't find the person they were talking about. But it's unclear as what the rights are, to whom is the servient estate and who's the dominant estate. So, yeah, I mean, typically, something like that, I'm not going to call out an encroachment on a survey. It's not a real driveway. It's not like someone paved the driveway through there. No, we're
talking the front one.
Oh, in the front?
That one you're saying has that
Oh, in the
easement.
front?
That one you're saying has.
Well, there's two things happening. There's an easement in the front, and there's a right-of-way that runs along the entire length of the lot.
So, but the first one, I think, is the one that Ms. Lanzetta is talking about.
I'm talking about the one towards the back.
Oh, right,
I'm talking about the one towards the back.
And that's the one, that's the similar one where I questioned it goes on the other property, but they're going to show a new driveway serving this property.
Yeah, it's gonna be a new subject.
All right.
And also the lot line change, we're trying to deal with that with the lot. That's kind of one of the purposes of the lot line change. So originally, the lot line change was just to meet the side yard on the house, the second house, but then I made it even bigger, trying to get that whole thing in there, that whole traveled way slash driveway in there.
This is Mike Rodelli's house that was never completed.
Correct, yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, correct. Now I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That encroachment off Old County Road that you're calling it,
Can you please step up to the mic, sir? Thank you, and tell the stenographer who your name. Your name.
I'm Michael Rodelli, known as Junior. My father was Senior. My grandfather owned this property back in 1920. That second lot that jogs out where Miss Lanzetta is detailing there, that's the driveway to the adjoining property, which was originally taken out of this lot to give to my Uncle Joe. That easement was granted from this property, so his driveway does not encroach over. They just sold that house, I'm going to say 5 years ago, and I had to give them an easement that was drawn up by Joe Trapani in order for them to sell that property. So that front off of Old County Road, which used to be Milton Turnpike, that has an easement going over the front of the property. That's so they could get to their house, which was Uncle Joe's house. Okay? Is that clear?
No.
Is that clear?
Yeah, you're, no.
Because I talk Italian, you know.
No, you're doing good.
Okay.
So does that mean that that's no longer being used by the people to get to the
No,
other
that means that there's a driveway there coming off of Old County Road that enters into that property, that the adjoining house, which was Uncle Joe's house. Okay, that's separate, that's the white lot, not the yellow lot. So that's 43 Milton Turnpike, actually. So that's 43 Milton Turnpike. I'm just clarifying what that front, before I go on with the rest of it. That little jog coming off of Old County Road is a blacktop driveway that leads to the adjoining property, which has an easement.
Okay. So Mom and Dad's house was in the front here,
Correct.
and then John Shillitoe's house
Shillitoe's the next property.
is the next property over.
Yeah.
Is the next
So
property.
that property in between Shillito and 39 Old County Road has that easement so they could get to that property. It's just a driveway.
Right.
But that belongs to this property. Right. But that belongs to this property. But that belongs to this property.
Cindy?
So the house on the back would be the only one using that easement at this point?
The house in the back was never completed.
Right.
Never got a CO on it. So, over the years, by 2003 or 4, the zoning changed, where you have to have one house per parcel. That was built, but never completed, under the old zoning rules. So, we want to complete this property legally, and this is why they want the subdivision for it. So the road that comes up, the original driveway for the front house, there's a travel way that goes all the way to the back. Now, some of it's on the property, and some of it's on the old travel way property, which is a right-of-way. There's 16 and a half feet on each side of the property line. So what we did is we went to Jeff Palladino, and we got a contract to add another 50 feet to the side yard, because there's only 20 feet from the boundary of this property to the side of the big house up there. So you need 35 feet setback. Correct? Okay, so now we have 75 feet. With Jeff's signing on, which he's the power of attorney for Bill and Diane. That's why Jeff's on that paper there. Billy and Diane are in Florida. So Danny Rusk drew up the contract for that lot line change.
Well, we just want to make sure that we don't have more than two parcels on a driveway.
The only way to get in there is through the front parcel. So it's either got to be flagged off, or it's got to have a right-of-way from one to the other.
Does that make sense, Joe? Right now, they're proposing a flag lot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll have a 280, New York State law 280 issue. So the flag lot gives them presumptive access to the Old County Road. The driveway just needs to be shown within the flag lot to
Okay.
create the encroachment.
Okay.
Tax lot 1, which is labeled as Jamal Family Trust. They're cleaning it up, by the lot line change, we'll clean up the portion that goes off into the Bill and Diane LLC currently, but that's subject to the lot line change.
Yeah, so to be clear, there's definitely stuff that I didn't propose on this that we could, just because these lots are problematic in so many ways, that I kind of wanted to see which way y'all were going to direct it before putting a whole bunch of easements and stuff on there. We're definitely going to need some kind of an easement for Lot 2, on Lot 2, in favor of Lot 1 for their driveway because of the flag lot. So there's going to be, ultimately, there shouldn't be any encroachments when we're done with this. That's what I say. So, and keep in mind that that whole easterly line has this right-of-way on it. So if anything is kind of over the line there, then, I mean, it's in this right-of-way. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm happy to give them all the research I've done. It's very ambiguous as to who enjoys that and what it's for, and it doesn't say a lot, so.
Well, please forward that to Hannah, okay? please
Okay,
forward
Hannah.
that to Hannah. Okay? To Jen, and Jen will forward it to Hannah. Okay?
And just to further
Okay.
exemplify the fact that along that would be this side, which would be the easterly side, it's naturally a barrier. There's either a mountain of shale there, which you guys know, or there's a 100-foot drop-off between each property on the east side of that property.
Correct.
So nobody's going to build anywhere there unless they knock that whole mountain down at Don W.
Okay. So once we're settled with the completed application, I think you've addressed the road. We're going to flag the road on the map, correct? Flag the road on the map, correct? And then,
I'm suggesting the driveway be placed on lot.
and then,
Does it need a turnout, a pullover? Does it need a turnout? A pullover? Does it need a turnout?
So we'll get full engineering on this second lot. We'll get full engineering on this second lot. Yeah, okay. Understood. Yeah, okay.
The driveway for lot 1 will function as the first one, but it needs to be a lot over 300 feet, I believe.
okay? And then after we get the completed application, we'll go ahead and authorize the search for lead agency on this. We did the motion for unlisted. Okay, so I get a motion upon completed application to circulate for lead agency. Can I have a motion, please? Bobby, seconded by John. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. That's all we've got for you tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right? Michael, thanks for clearing that up first.
I tried hard.
Thanks for clearing that up. Okay? We're going to get through this before. Okay, so discussion. We directed our attorney, Hannah, to write a letter on behalf of the planning board from our discussion on March 16th. I don't know. Yeah, keep it on the record. Thanks. Did you catch that then? All right. So on March 16th, we had a discussion about the recommending to amend the Town of Marlborough Code to permit minor site plan review for farm operations and accessory use thereto. The letter reads, Dear Supervisor Corcoran, at its March 16, 2026 meeting of the Town of Marlborough Planning Board, the Planning Board identified the opportunity to adopt an expedited site plan review process for applications involving a principal permitted agricultural use and accessory use hereto in accordance with Comprehensive Plan and Department of Ag and Market Guidance. At present, the Town of Marlborough Town Code 155-31 requires site plan review for the following applications. A, all special uses cited in 155-12. Use regulations are identified hereon or other than short-term rental, bed and breakfast, and home occupations, which are subject to minor site plan approval. B, new principal use and accessory use except for 1 and 2 family dwellings and related accessory uses. C, expansion and changes of uses, site plan review and approval shall be required for a change of use and expansion of use or more intensive use, which such change or expansion shall result in increased water supply, sewage disposal, stormwater runoff management, parking needs, or traffic generation. Such determinations to be made by the building inspector or code enforcement officer. A building permit and certificate of occupancy shall not be issued for such uses or buildings without first obtaining approval from the planning board. The code allows the planning board to conduct minor site plan review only for the proposed use of structures as a short-term rental unit, a bed and breakfast, and or home occupation, Code 155-31. The planning board may waive submission requirements, though not procedural requirements, either for regular site plan or minor site plan applications, code 15531F, 1553105, all site applications require a public hearing. The planning board acknowledges the town's goal of supporting enhancing agricultural uses, agritourism, and agri-related events. Therefore, the planning board recommends the town board consider the following proposed code amendments. 1, requiring minor site plan review for farm operations as defined in Ag and Market Law, 30111, and accessory use thereto which are situated in our Ag 1 zone districts, an Ulster County Agricultural District, or a New York State Agricultural District. This would likely involve amendments to Code 15531O, 15531B, 1A. The town board should also consider amending the current definition of farm operations contained in Code 155.1 to mirror the definitions of AML 30111. Adding a provision to exclude applications described above from the public hearing requirement for minor site plan review. This could be added at Code 15531O. Establishing an expedited 45-day time frame for approval. The 45-day period begins once the planning board determines that the applicant is a farm operation and located in one of the aforementioned agricultural districts. This could be added as Code 15531O. These suggestions are in accordance with the Ag and Market Guidance of June 9, 2021. Should you have any questions regarding this matter, please feel free to contact me. Very truly yours, Marlborough Planning Board, which would be signed by myself, Stephen Jennison, Planning Board Chairman. So, do we have any discussion on that? May I have a motion to approve that? John, second. By Fred. Any further discussion? By Fred. All in favor? Motion carried. So we'll send that up, Jen. I'll sign this, and you'll send this to Mr. Corcoran for me on behalf of the town planning board. Is there any further business before this planning board? Can I have a motion to adjourn, please? Cindy made the motion to adjourn. Seconded by Fred. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. We have a meeting on the 20th. We have a preliminary meeting at 6:30 on the 20th. Okay? I think, Cindy, you will not be here. Anybody else will not be in attendance? Wonderful. Wonderful.